Hello, everyone. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. We are getting close to that midpoint in the semester. I'm very, very pleased with how well everyone's doing so far. So let's take a look at what we will be doing this upcoming week. So you need to read textbook chapters 6 and 7, and then you are going to create your own fact sheet. This is a health communication artifact intended to help your priority population learn more about making healthy choices or learning how to prevent certain illnesses. We are also going to go over the Health Communication Campaign Project Part 2. So we have 3 parts. You already finished the first paper, and I will be grading those this week. The homework, there's a chapter 6 and 7 forum, and then submit your fact sheet. I'm hoping that the fact sheet is more of a fun exercise where you can use your communication skills to create something. Starting with the fact sheet, you're going to read this excerpt from the Health Communication Playbook. Again, this is a really great source for creating your own health communication materials. And you will be using this example right here to help you create your very own fact sheet. It can be about any health issue that you want. You can use any target population you want. You don't have to necessarily do the one that you are doing for your semester long project, although you are welcome to. So here's the example fact sheet. I'm going to show you a fact sheet that I have done recently. So this one isn't necessarily as easy for people to understand. This fact sheet is meant to be for an audience of people who already know what maternal health and micronutrient intake are. But when you are doing a fact sheet, you can see I have a lot of white space in here. I've chunked things up a bit so that it's easier to read. People can skip around to what section they want. I have some visual examples. So I have some tables. You probably won't have any tables. But something that I really want you to do with your fact sheet that I haven't done on this one, just because I had a different audience, is I want you to make sure that you are including language that is accessible and understandable to someone who's in 5th grade. So, do you know anyone who's between the ages of 9 and 11? When you write this, I want you to be thinking about them. What would they understand? Something else I wanted to show you is that you can use AI to create images on this assignment if you're using Canva. So let me show you how to do this. And you can do this for something else as well if you aren't wanting to have a picture of a person. So let's do Magic Media. And let's say I want to do veterans health. So I'm going to say female veterans, different ethnicities. And see, look right here. I have some female veterans of different races or ethnicities. So you can use this magic media option. You can use AI to create the images that you want for your fact sheet. However, your fact sheet has to be written by you. It cannot be written by AI. I do run papers that are suspicious through an AI checker that the university pays for. So just be aware of that. Let me show you an example of something that you can generate that isn't necessarily a human being. So let's say I want to do, and look at this. I actually think this picture is beautiful. Look at that. You can use the AI option, the Magic Media option on Canva to create images for you. And this is really nice to use because if you are Googling images, then you have to cite the image. So, for example, if the image belongs to the CDC, you are going to have to cite the CDC. But if you use the AI generator to create your image, you don't have to do that. So, just a little tip. let's move on to the Health Communication Campaign Project Foundations and Planning. Here is the assignment outline. You're going to be creating the foundation for your campaign. So you have already done a needs assessment and got to know your population a little bit better. So you're going to do an introduction, talk about the community that you have chosen, and you can copy directly from your needs assessment. It's totally fine if you copy and paste. What is the health issue that you're going to address? Contextualize the problem. For example, we are doing mental health in veterans. How prevalent is mental health in veterans versus in the entire United States? So maybe I'm just making up this example. Could say mental health is a significant public health issue for veterans in the United States. Veterans experience mental health crises at a rate of 30% compared to the rest of the United States population, which experiences mental health issues at a rate of 21%, something like that. That's just off the top of my head. So when you contextualize the problem, you're not just saying 30% of veterans experience a mental health crisis. You're saying this amount of veterans experience a mental health crisis, and this is how it compares to the rest of the United States. You're putting your community into the broader context. Why is this issue significant for the chosen community? And then goals and objectives. So a goal is a big overarching theme. What is the big goal of your project? Just write one. Just write one goal for your project, and then you are going to write 3 objectives. These 3 objectives should help you to achieve your goal. Let's say the goal of your overall health communication campaign is to increase access for mental health resources to veterans. So then what are 3 things that you can do or that are part of your communication campaign that can help you to expand access? Here's an example of goals and objectives. So if you take a look here, by date, the responsible party will do the task. This is the formula that you have to use. I understand there are different ways that you can write an objective, but for the purposes of this class, where we are just barely starting out, we're introducing you to the topic of SMART objectives. You need to use this format right here. That'll ensure that you are writing a proper objective. Here are some examples. This is for a health program plan that I did 2 years ago for Utah. So by April 2024, by date, and then these people, the responsible party, will create a request for appropriation. So create a funding request. So by date, the responsible party will do the task. And then the very last section, identify and describe your target audience. When you are creating your health communication campaign, who do you want to see the campaign? It could be your target population. For example, if you are trying to increase prevalence of, for example, if you are trying to increase HPV vaccination initiation rates in the United States, your target audience may be parents. Since typically children should get vaccinated between the ages of 11 and 12, my target audience is parents because children are the ones who need to get vaccinated for HPV. That's what's recommended. And this is a description of the parents that I'm specifically targeting. Or your target audience doesn't necessarily have to be the people that you want to make a health change. For example, if your health communication campaign overarching goal is to make free breast cancer screening available to all women, then perhaps your target audience is people who are actually in the position to be able to create a bill or people who are able to create policies to make that happen. Does that make sense? So your target audience could be the actual people whose health you want to change, or it could be people who are in a position where they can change the environment of your target population in order to make health choices easier for them. If you target your state government for a breast cancer free screening health communication campaign, you are making it easier for women to get breast cancer screening. So that's more like a trickle down sort of effect. Then also include the relevant demographic information, age, sex, geographic area, race, ethnicity, and even political affiliation is very important too. And then explain why this audience is appropriate for your campaign. Why is it appropriate for me to target my state government for my health communication campaign? What does that do for my actual target population whose health I want to change? Taking a look at what is coming up the week of October 13th, that's your midterm. Very exciting. We're at the halfway point. This is going to be a really fun assignment, I promise. So have a fantastic week, and I am so excited to see your fact sheets. Please remember, this has to be done on some sort of online platform such as Canva or PowerPoint or something. You cannot hand draw it. As public health communicators, we need our communication campaign materials to look professional, be professional. Canva is free. There are some things that you won't be able to unlock, but you can still create a beautiful fact sheet, even with just the free features.